Every woman deserves to feel vibrant, safe, loved, and feel her power. The Woman's Vibrancy Code podcast is here for a potent use of your time. We will cover energy, hormones, and libido with episodes that also dive into entrepreneurship, money mindset, feminine power, and much, much more. Introducing Maraya Brown, Yale and functional medicine trained women's health expert, midwife, mom, and entrepreneur.
Hello, Maraya Brown here. Today's a day of kind of storytelling. So I want to speak to the women out there that are in a scenario. Well, I'm going to just tell my story. Okay, I remember a time when I felt really trapped and I didn't know what steps to start taking. I had a vision of what I wanted to create or how I wanted to feel or the new trajectory that I wanted to start, but I didn't know who to ask for help. And so I wanted to speak to that. So for those of you that don't know who I am, I'm Maraya Brown. I have been serving women for 22 years now, initially as a midwife and a doula. And then I did my training at Yale to become a certified nurse midwife. And I've been running the women's health in lots of different settings and clinics, mainly in Hawaii and Oregon. Since 2007, I had the esteemed privilege of doing some international health projects in West Africa and Central America and Haiti. And then I started doing my training through the Institute of Functional Medicine. And then that birthed into me doing a deep dive into my own wellness, knowing that for me personally, prescriptions weren't the answer, and I didn't want just Band-Aid care. But it's also a story of the vision that I saw in regard to how I wanted my zone of genius, my craft, my art to be shared out in the world with all of y'all. But I didn't really know how. And so I was thinking this morning about two distinct times in my life. One was after I gave birth to number 2 and my health crashed and I waited way too long to ask for help. And the second one was when I saw the possibility of going online and providing my craft and my knowledge and my services to women. And I wanted to go online. I wanted to take my methodology, a functional medicine approach, my Yale education, to help women with their energy, their hormones, and their libido, but I didn't really know how. And so I found a coach and I allowed myself to receive and I allowed myself to ask for help, because what I realized is in both of those scenarios, I stayed in an eddy. I stayed stuck for way too long. From a business perspective, I had all these ideas. I would stay up late at night and brainstorm what, if I could figure out how to reach women, write out my outline, but I had no idea what to do with it. And I was thinking so many of the women that I serve today with the Women's Vibrancy Code method and through the Vibrant Life workshops are likely in their version of that. You're maybe feeling like, I know that I want to have more energy. I have an idea of what that might look like. I can do a Google search. I can, throw a dart in the dark and hope that I can try some new supplements. Maybe you have an idea of how you want to feel in your body and you're watching yourself swing with your moods, your irritability, your anxiety, your depression. And it's like this pendulum that's swinging really far from one end to the other, or your weight is swinging really far from one end to the other, and you're just trying to figure it out on your own. And what I can tell you is, as I thought about it, the two moments where life really shifted, one was with my health and one was with my career. In both scenarios, I finally asked for help. And I stopped trying to do it all by myself. And I think now that I'm years down the road, I'd kind of forgotten. I had forgotten how much that support was needed. And I also had forgotten how long I stayed in the eddy. And so my call to action for you is to get out of the eddy. Allow yourself to raise your hand and say, I need some help, right? And that doesn't mean we go ask someone for directions to places they've not been. The marketplace right now is inundated with coaches and experts, and everybody's there telling you your solution. And you get to find someone who you really trust. You resonate with their energy. You feel seen. You feel heard by them. And they have a track record. Okay. It's not just that they've just launched this new coaching thing. Okay. But they have been doing this for a while and they have their own experience. Maybe you ask God, maybe you check in with your intuition. Maybe you ask your friends, who have you gone to when you were in this scenario? You know, we all have those people where we're like, wow, I see big transformation in you. What did you do? Okay. How did you create shift? Who did you go to for your support? As women, we certainly need you. And it's so wonderful. Coaches are a blessing and you are a blessing to women. Thank you. Thank you. Asking for help is challenging, but it creates change and we get to be our own health advocates. Yes, we get to be our own health advocates. So the story, like I said, after my second baby was born, so this is back in 2014, I had been white knuckling it, grin and bear it, go, 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 do for way too long. And the reality is my body hurt. I was exhausted. I didn't want to be touched. I felt trapped in my life. I felt trapped in my body. And I was really unfulfilled with the work that I was doing. And for a long time, you know what I did? I did nothing. I just tried to continue to figure it out on my own. And it wasn't until I saw a naturopath. Actually, I wasn't the one that saw her. She was seeing my daughter. And she looked at me with eyes that really saw me. And she said, how are you doing? And I was slightly forthcoming. I said, I'm tired. But here I was. I'm a Yale educated nurse practitioner. I've been running the women's health for decades now. I was a midwife, right? I had been facilitating women's circles. I was the holder of space. I was the nutrition expert. I knew a lot about supplementation. Who was I to say that I wasn't perfect? And so I told her I'm tired. I'm a little tired. And luckily she ordered the right labs. And we realized that at that point, my thyroid had crashed and my adrenals really weren't doing well. And so I allowed myself to say, okay, I can be my own self-advocate. I do not have to be my own expert. Okay. I get to receive support. I get to ask for help. And in that scenario, now years later, oh my gosh, it's amazing how much progress has taken place. And of course, I don't have aches and pains in my body anymore, and the energy is back, and I'm sleeping well, and I love being touched, and my relationship is happy, and my career is better, and blah, 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 right? My version of it. And so then I was able to take those speed bumps, those moments of weakness, so to speak, and create a method called the Women's Vibrancy Code so that I can pour into other women and help give them the accountability and hand-holding to take them through their version of that, okay? So for those of you that are listening, whatever your version of that is, maybe your stress level is just over the top. You know you're burning the candle at both ends, okay? You're watching your anxiety go all over the place. You've tried one fad diet to another. You've seen providers, and they're just like, I talked to a woman yesterday. She's like, oh yeah, I'm doing great. They have me on all these supplements and this medication and this new diet regimen, but they had done no testing. Oh yeah, they just know. They just know what's going on with my hormones. Like, what? That's like throwing a dart with blindfolded. Like, can you go to someone who ideally who's functional trained and we get to look at the right tests? You get to feel really seen and heard and look underneath the hood and actually start receiving the support that you absolutely deserve, because I know we are all destined to live a vibrant life. And it's not something that we earn. It's something that is required, right? Just like rest is not earned, it is required. So we get to ask for help, and we get to find someone, once again, that we look in that person's eyes and we feel seen, we feel heard. they're looking under the hood and not just, I mean, who knows? Maybe that works for you to go to a provider who just prescribes you your next medication or says, here, take these supplements. That doesn't resonate with me. Okay. I'm not talking about a new fad diet. I'm talking about let's really look underneath the hood, get the right tests. Often those tests are not through blood. Some of them are. But if you've gone to a provider and they've done blood tests and said either everything's normal or here's your medication, the self-advocacy, that is so vital, right? So to start really advocating for yourself and search out for someone like me, functional medicine trained, that has a method where you don't have to wait. I hear from other women, they have to wait a month, 3 months to be seen next. No, we live in an online world now, okay? I've created a method where you have access to me and a multidisciplinary team on a weekly basis, all right? One-on-one, group settings, whatever it is that you're longing for, self-paced modules, right? Not just nutrition, supplementation, and the right testing, but let's also look at how we're thinking and address the old trauma that's getting in the way and address our sensuality and our sexuality and a deep dive into our nutrition, right? So that's what resonates with me, okay? That's the method that I've created through my Yale education, through my life's experience, and through a functional medicine lens. So you get to get quiet with, is this working for me? Okay. Am I advocating for myself? Am I going to get support and accountability and help from providers that have a track record? I feel seen by them. And I actually feel like they're not just throwing a dart in the dark blindfolded. Okay. So then the other story that I was thinking about this morning was the story of when I first went online and I started an online course. Like I said, I had all these ideas. I'd been Googling it. I'd been up late at night. I had been interviewing other online experts through Beyond the Red Tent for years. So I had all these ideas. I had the education. I had the life's experience to really know that I could support women in moving from exhausted to energized, balance their hormones, and feel turned on by their life, their lover, and themselves. But I was spinning. I was stuck in an eddy because I didn't know what steps to take. And so I finally found a coach. I invested heavily. She was not cheap. I invested heavily with time, money, and energy. And I allowed myself to say, okay, I am not the expert on that. And even if I was the expert, I don't want to be my own expert. I will be my own self-advocate, but I don't want to be my own expert. And so then I got the accountability and the hand-holding to actually create the system and step by step take steps. Okay, all online in the comfort of my own home. And so now I have the esteemed privilege to do the version of that for women all over the world, right? I think about the hundreds and hundreds of women that I've served online. New Zealand, Australia, Belgium, the Netherlands, South Africa, the UK, Canada, Puerto Rico, all over the United States, South America. Spectacular. And I get to offer up my expertise, my life experience, and my energy for those that resonate with this. And they're saying, yes, I'm hungry. Yes, I'm hungry for my version of a vibrant life. Okay. So what that looks like for you, if you're leaning in and saying, oh my gosh, yes. Well, the Vibrant Life Workshop, it's a free step. It's a poke my head around the window, poke my head around the door step. Okay. If you are exhausted, if you're riding the roller coaster of weight, the roller coaster of mood, the roller coaster of stress level, if you feel like something is going on with your hormones, your thyroid, your adrenals, if you're suffering from bloating and constipation and gut dysbiosis, if you're finding yourself looking in the mirror and saying, I don't recognize who I see, I don't want to be touched, I'm not turned on by the work that I'm doing, I'm not turned on by the days that I'm waking up to, that's who I'm speaking to. That's the woman that comes to me. And the woman who's saying, I don't want a prescription. I don't want just a shelf of supplements. Okay. I believe that food is medicine, mindset matters, energy is relevant. And yes, you're looking for the right personalized supplement. Yes, you're looking for the right personalized testing. And so what you do is you come into the Vibrant Life Workshop I'm going to give you a roadmap. It's going to be live. You can watch it. You can hop on Zoom and attend with us. You can watch the recording. You'll have your own concierge support. It'll hold your hand every step of the way, answer your questions, be there so that you can feel heard and seen in the midst of a free workshop. And we'll start getting in there. You're going to get clear on what are some steps you can start taking to feel more energy, to start addressing hormonal imbalances, to start feeling turned on by your life, your lover, and yourself, and to get clarity on if you're going to just stay in the place of self-advocacy for now, what are the ways in which you can advocate for yourself? What are the tests that you can ask for, right? So you'll have clarity with all of that by the end of a 5-day workshop. So it's 5 days of core content, and then we'll be available to continue to ask questions. There'll be live Q&A. I love doing the Vibrant Life workshop because it's my opportunity to pour into the masses, and it's free. You can do it in your own timing. Of course, I love it if you're live because I'm live and I can answer your real-time questions that are specific to you so that you can feel seen and you can feel heard, so that if you're one of those that maybe you're in the eddy, you know that if you felt different, you would pour better into your children. If you felt different, you would have more fulfilling relationships. If you felt different, you would be able to pour more into the business that you're creating or the career that you're creating, and it would up level. You would have a more vibrant life. But you're just going, I don't really know what steps to take, or I don't know how to ask for help. Well, it starts with the Vibrant Life workshop. You get to say, okay, I need some help, and I'm going to allow myself to receive in a comfortable, from the comfort of your own home, in your own timing. And I'll start giving you some simple steps. We'll have some of the team master coaches on as well. So the functional dietitian, the mindset coach, and the trauma release specialist will also be on. We will all be giving you solutions in the midst of the Vibrant Life workshop. Yes, my method, which is called the Women's Vibrancy Code method, is delivered with a multidisciplinary team. So the women who come into the space and are ready for the deep dive, they get real hand-holding. They get real solutions, and they get real life transformation. It's spectacular. Okay, let me look at your questions. I'm seeing all sorts of stuff. I have hypothyroid and I get the help I need. I take levothyroxine. Yeah. So for you, if you have a sluggish thyroid and your answer is to be on a medication for the rest of your life and that works for you, awesome. Okay. For those of you that are saying, I am okay being on levothyroxine, and I also want to figure out why my thyroid crashed in the first place and what's going on with my immune system, what's going on with the way in which my thyroid is communicating with what's called the HPA axis and the HPG axis. And you want to figure out specific steps that you can take to further foundationally support your thyroid and why the thyroid crashed in the first place. Those are the women that come into my space. And honestly, if you're like, nah, I'm good, I'm just going to take my levothyroxine, it helps me feel better, I don't need anything else, awesome. That's not really the woman that I'm working with, okay? You're still welcome to attend the Vibrant Life workshop, but when it comes to the Women's Vibrancy Code, that's an invite-only space. It's not really a woman that's going to be invited into the space, and you still get to attend the Vibrant Life workshop and enjoy it. Alexander, I'm seeing a bunch of different names tagging. Awesome. That's wonderful. Just needed help and coaches helped me. Isn't it awesome? When we get clarity on what we want, why we want it, and then go find the who that's going to help us along the journey while we stay in a deep place of self-advocacy, while we stay in a deep place of checking in with our intuition and our knowing, but not grinning and bearing it, doing it all by ourselves. Okay, Google is not the expert. All these new coaches and health experts out in the world that have no training, I'm sorry, that's not it, okay? I've been doing this, I've been working with women for 22 years, okay? I have my master's from Yale University, functional medicine trained. I have taught at the Chinese medicine college on the Big Island. I have been studying nutrition and keeping up with all my continued medical education since 2007. Okay. If that resonates with you and you like science mixed with a belief in mindset and energy, yes, I'm trained in Reiki. Yes, I'm trained in Peruvian shamanism. Yes, I believe that our mindset matters. And there's a reason why prayer works, and there's a reason why there's a placebo effect. And let's get at this from substantial places. Okay. I also have the background of hearing lots of women and supporting lots of women, not just going from research. Because research at the end of the day is a bunch of numbers. What I'm talking about is real people, real people's lives. And what I know is a rising tide lifts all boats. And when we rise, when we lift a woman up, I believe that it lifts the household, it lifts the community, and it lifts the society. So that's where I go. I believe in a matriarchal model. You can go to marayabrown.com/the vibrant life. Maraya is Maraya. What brought this up is this morning thinking about a moment where I felt stagnant and really miserable in my body. And I needed to be able to ask for help. And then I used that help and my own experience to pour more into better understanding a functional medicine approach, and now use that to teach others. And then the other time when it was time for me to come out of the closet, so to speak, come out into the online space, and I didn't know how. And I allowed myself to ask for help. I invested heavily in an up-leveled coach who had a great track record. And I felt kind of nauseous giving her the money initially. But I betted on myself. And I know that I'm the asset to my life, and I'm the asset to this family network with me and my husband and our 3 beautiful children. And you're the asset to yours. Okay. So allow yourself to prioritize yourself. No permission needed. And allow yourself to once and for all invest in yourself and go out and get the support that you need. Cheers to your journey of wellness, and cheers to feeling turned on by your life, your lover, and yourself. Maraya Brown here once again, certified nurse midwife turned online women's health coach, CEO, and developed the Women's Vibrancy Code method.
Thank you for listening to the Women's Vibrancy Code. Connect with us and take the first step to transforming your energy, hormones, and libido at thewomensvibrancycode.com. Cheers to your zest and vitality. Make sure to follow for weekly power-packed value.